South African employers need to be mindful that the foreign workers they employ have their immigration status in order with Home Affairs. Earlier this month, some 25 illegal foreign nationals were arrested by Cape Town police who were accompanied by Department of Home Affairs officials. Marisa Jacobs, immigration specialist at Xpatweb, says employers must not take it for granted that foreign nationals working for them are doing so legally, as the consequences for them could be quite severe. And Marisa joins me on the line now. Thanks very much, Marisa. So the Department of Home Affairs has warned that it's going to up the number of audits it does to ensure that South African employers are employing foreign nationals who are entitled to work. What does the audit process involve?
Hi, thank you for having me. So the audit process involves the inspectorate unit from the Department of Home Affairs in collaboration with the South African Police Department, who come in to the company, and they will ask for a list of all the foreign nationals employed by that company. They go through a process then of checking documentation to make sure that the documents acquired are legal, that they are on the system, and also that employees comply with the conditions that are on those visas.
What basis is this done on? Are you sent an appointment to say we'll be coming to your premises, or it's sort of like a raid?
It's very much like a raid. You most certainly don't get a heads up. They will knock on the door and then they are there.
Right. So you say that anyone deemed responsible for wrongly employing a foreign national can get into as much trouble as imprisonment. Is that right?
That's correct. The Immigration Act provides for imprisonment of the person responsible. So first offence is a fine or imprisonment of up to 1 year. Second offence, also a fine, imprisonment of up to 2 years. And then third offence is imprisonment without the option of a fine.
You also say that a foreign national's visa details in terms of their occupation must exactly tally with their job description at their place of employ. But that sounds a bit extreme. What if they're shifted, in the very same organization, or their role changes?
They then need to apply for a change of conditions. So when they came in, it would have been because they have a specific skill that there's a shortage of in South Africa, so they would have gotten the visa on that basis, or they would have gotten it on the basis that the employer did a full search to try and find a local person and could not find a local person for that position, and therefore had to recruit internationally for that position. So if they change positions, there's no longer that check in place to make sure that they're filling a role that's either a shortage or that Home Affairs deemed that is correct. You may employ a foreign national. So shifting positions is not allowed, especially if it's only if it's written on the visa that you are only to be employed in this position. But the process is very simple. So it's just making sure that you keep complying. They then simply make application to the department to say this is a change of conditions due to restructuring or promotion. This person is now taking up Y position. Can we please have a change of conditions on the visa?
You say the process is quite simple. People's experience of Home Affairs is not always so straightforward. I mean, isn't there the queuing and all of that? Or is it something you can simply do online?
So, unfortunately, not online, but in 2014, when the law changed, we all know that VFS then came into effect. So now you submit your applications at the VFS, and in our experience, that's a very effective process. You make an appointment, you go in for your appointment, you submit your documentation, and in Johannesburg, it's a 4-week turnaround time. Some of the other regions, it can take up to 8 weeks, but between 4 and 8 weeks, you should have your new visa stamped into your passport with your new conditions. Really straightforward in our experience.
You've warned against South African employers hiring foreign nationals who already have a visa without doing some due diligence on that. Just explain.
So if someone comes to you and they already have a visa, there's no way for you to know how did they obtain this visa, did they go through the proper processes, and as a HR practitioner, you might not know what a valid visa looks like, and especially if it might be a fraudulent visa is what I'm trying to say. So check with the Department of Home Affairs, make sure that visa is on the track and trace system, and the employee himself might be unaware that they've got a visa that's not valid. We see it very often where people use a provider and still they end up with a fraudulent visa because they didn't properly check.
So You also indicate that there are certain visas which stipulate that a foreign national with a scarce skill must transfer that skill to locals. I mean, it's a sensible expectation in our environment, but how does the Department of Home Affairs police this? And if it's found not to be happening, what are the possible consequences?
So I suspect that the department will make this part of their inspections. When they come, they will ask, so intra-come transfer visa, for instance, as an example. One of the requirements is that a skills transfer plan is drawn up as part of that, the visa application process. So I suspect that as part of these raids, we haven't seen it yet, but I think it will come into effect very soon, where they'll ask, can we see copies of these skills transfer plans? Who is the person that you earmarked to receive these skills? Can you chat to that person to see if they have been receiving these skills? And they'll start checking that it's happening, because surely if you've had to bring in someone because the skill doesn't exist, it's then reasonable to expect transfer that skill so in future we have this skill in South Africa and we don't have to continuously import skills for the same thing.
Indeed. So ultimately, Marisa, in an employer vis-a-vis foreign employee setup, who's ultimately responsible to ensure that the visa issue is in good and proper order?
In the case of employers, it's the employer's responsibility. The act is clear to say that it is illegal for any organization or any person to employ a foreign national who is not in possession of documentation legally permitting them to do so.
All right, then. We hope that you derive some value from our packed show. We hope that you derive some value from our packed show. From me, Nompumelelo Siziba, and the rest of the MoneyWeb team, good night.